Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches and welcome to my channel. Here we chat about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch, but also has some knitting and crochet from time to time. Thank you so much everyone for following along and watching my videos each week. I really do appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out with me and see what I've been up to. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and then the notification bell to subscribe to all notifications so that way you don't miss when I upload a new video. I do upload usually on Tuesdays, but sometimes when there's a long weekend, I will film early or late, depending on my schedule over the holiday. So let's go ahead and get started talking about what I've done this week. Patriotic stitching is still a go. I have not worked on my summer sock camp socks yet. Excuse me. I was planning on working on them in the car when I rode with my husband around to do errands and such, but that never happened. We were not in the car at the same time together. So there's that, nothing to update on that, but I do have an update about the Saginaw County Fair. I went to register on Friday, July 15th. And found that the registration deadline was July 1st. I screwed up. For some reason, I had it in my head that the deadline to register was the 15th, and then the 29th was the day that you had to have all of your pieces turned into the fair office for setup and judgment and things. So unfortunately, I will not be participating in the fair this year because of an error on my part. But as my encouraging daughter told me, it's okay, Mom. Now you have a whole nother year to figure things out and get your pieces ready so you're not rushed at the last minute. And she is absolutely correct because I have not done a thing to start finishing the pieces that I needed to finish. Like framing His Name is Jesus and Amazing Grace. I haven't done that yet, and there's only 2 weeks until the deadline to turn things in. So I was kind of cutting it kind of close on that aspect of things. So we're going to wait until next year, and because I already know the pieces, they didn't change the classes or anything from last year to this year, so I'm hopeful that the class categories will stay the same. And I have a whole year to prepare and get those 2 things laced and framed up. So there's that. So let's talk about the cross stitching, the patriotic stitching that I've been doing in the last week. I left you on Sunday, I believe, with Seasons in Chalk, Stars and Stripes. I was going to work on that a little bit more to try to finish up that flower. I did put a couple more strands in that project, and I just forgot to bring it with me when I started to film, but we'll talk about that later. So then I'm going to talk to you about Lady Liberty by Keslyn's. This is my 1 strand a day piece, stitching it on 28 count white Monaco, 1 strand over 1 thread, and I'm using Blacksmith Blue and Ribbon Red by Classic Colorworks for this. And the blue really isn't giving a lot of variation in the color. I'm kind of okay with that because if you can see here, there's not a lot of variation in the red colors, just her blue that she chose. And mine's going to be the opposite. I think my red is going to give a lot of color there. Okay, so I'm still stitching this upside down, but this is what it's supposed to look like. This is the top of the left wing. And I have made some great progress this week. I filled in between these 2 stars, and then all of that has been put in. And I'm just starting to get the placement of the next 3 stars. So I want to show you that when at the beginning of the month, when I said, okay, I want to get these 6 stars put in, I was talking about those 6 right there. Can you see them? The half a star I already had in, but then these 6 stars here. Well, what I didn't anticipate is the page that I had made a working copy of cut off oh, here on the big picture, cut off right there. So all of this was not in my anticipated stitching. I was not calculating that into my estimation. So everything that's going down this way, I was not anticipating on. But it didn't make sense to just stop at where my picture was for my working copy and then pick back up later on the other side. So I just got my paper pattern out and I just finished up the rows, put it away when I didn't need it when I was working on the other side. And it's all working out just fabulously. I'm still going to have, I still anticipate that I'm going to have 6 stars put in. I just don't know which 6 stars. But as you can see, I already have 2. I'm going to have 3 here. And I know that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to finish that second row of stars this week before I see you next. I'm putting in about 150 stitches a day, which equals in 1 week, 7 days equals about 1,000 stitches. So I am making really great progress on this. I already have, 2 weeks in, and this is fantastic. And it's really not hard to do, and you kind of get into a rhythm. It just takes a little bit more counting when you come up against the edge of the stars, so that way you put them in the right place. And then I made a little bit of just a execution error where I picked up stitching yesterday. It kind of left me it left me in an area where I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I? And it took me forever this morning to figure out where I was and how I was going to continue and if I was going to make a mistake. And hopefully I don't do that again on this project. So, because I probably wasted about 10 minutes of stitch time on trying to figure out where I was and how to proceed with my stitching for the day. But that's all right. Okay. So next, after I finished Stars and Stripes, The Seasons in Chalk by Hands On Design, I had my last new start for Patriotic Stitching, and that's Liberty Eagle by Blackbird Designs. After I filmed last Sunday, I went down and got my fabric bucket, my bin. I have like a storage bin, and I pulled out this piece. It's a mystery linen. I have no idea what the color name is. I don't know. I know it's Zweigart, and it's just because of this. That's the only way that I know the manufacturer. It's just one of their base linens. I found a piece. I measured in a couple of different areas, and I kind of came out that it was 29. Well, it's not 29. It's either 28 or 30. The last time I stitched on this, I think I called it 30, but this time I'm calling it 28, which 28 and 30 is only 1 stitch per inch difference when you're stitching over 2 linen threads. But the piece that I had was big enough to fit the project, but at the same time too small for me to cut off the excess that I didn't need for this project and save it for something else. So I just put it in the middle. So I will show you what I've got done so far. I put 3 days into this, just like all of the other projects. It is wrinkly because I stitch in hand, and linen holds the wrinkles much more so than the Monaco. So I've got the border down here. It stops in the middle to accommodate the tail feathers, up the side, and then I started going across, and I'm almost halfway across already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm almost done with that top border, and then the border will be half done. Now, what I did discover, or as I was stitching, I am 1 stitch. This is supposed to be 3 stitches, and I only have 2 stitches because my floss ran out and I just could not get another stitch out of it. Now, it's the same on the other side, you know, it's exactly mirrored. So I'm going to make a decision. Do I put one stitch in at the end when I'm done with my, you know, with all the others, or do I just leave the other side with 2 stitches like I have the other? I don't know. And I know that this floss, I think is 3722, right? It is a little bit more pink than red. Yes, 3722. Than what the baked apple pie or whatever it's called, baked apple, is, but I am liking the way that it is on the fabric, and I'm liking the way that it's coordinating with the other colors. I have not yet pulled out ecru for the white colors, what's supposed to be the white, but that's fine. I'll do that later. Okay, so I got my 3 days in on this, and then that was the end. Besides my challenge stitches on Lady of the Flag, that was the end of my rotation. That was the end of all of my projects. I got all of my goals made on them. So I had over 2 weeks left. I decided to start over with the beginning of the rotation. So to stitch 3 days on all of my projects except for Lady of the Flag and Lady Liberty by Keslyn's, because I'm going to continue my 1 strand a day on that and my challenge stitches on Lady of the Flag. So what I did do is pulled out the Stars and Stripes by the Prairie Schooler again to continue on with the block that I had started last week when I had a little bit of time before work. And this block is the whale. I hope I have that in screen. I can't see what I'm pointing to. That says Sea to Shining Sea. And my 3 days were Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I feel like I'm missing a day in there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I worked on the Liberty Eagle. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I worked on Prairie Schooler. And I have so much progress. And I'm so happy about it. And I was right. I just had a thought. Pick one that has a lot of solid stitching and less counting, and you're going to make quicker progress, because that counting sure does slow you down. So I'm stitching this one on 28 count Monaco in the ivory color with the called for DMC. I know that the white is going to be a little bit hard, but besides the flags on the one that goes, oh no, not the flags. On the ship that goes, the companion one for this one, it's going to go on the other side of the fabric. It has like some fireworks or some stars in the white. They don't show up very well on the pattern. I don't know if I can get that in frame, if you can see it. They don't show up all that well anyway, so I'm not that concerned. I'm using white, like blanc. If it's not bright enough, I can always switch it to B5200 to have it be a little bit brighter white. But the whale is almost done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only have 9 more columns of stitches to do on the whales, on the front of the whale. And then I have a flag and the rest of the border and a little bit more of the ocean, the water down here, and I'm done. So I'm very happy with the progress that I made on that. So the next time that this comes up, I will have another block finish. It probably will only take me 2 days to get a block finish on this, maybe a whole 3 days. So I'm really happy with that. And that's why I do these different types of stitching themed months, because I know that if I focus in on a small selection of my whips, I'll get some great progress. So, oops, I lost some threads from somewhere. Okay, so then what I did is this morning, as I was stitching on Lady Liberty, I decided, okay, today is going to be the day. I'm going to stitch on Lady of the Flag. No excuses, just do it already. So I pulled her out this morning right before church started. My daughter and I stayed home from church today and watched it on YouTube. And this is Lady of the Flag, in case you've never seen it. It is out of print. It is by Mirabilia. No, I do not know what I'm going to do with the chart when I'm finished, but I do know, if you've been here before, I apologize, you've heard this already. If you're new here, I'm stitching this for my daughter. She wanted a teal conversion, which you will see when I show you my progress from this morning. My husband also wants one, and at this point in time, since I have to force myself to work on it, I don't know if I'm going to make him one. I have no idea. I think it would be different if I was making it for myself, but doing something that you don't like to do for someone else is even harder for some reason. And I will say there's nothing at all wrong with this pattern. Everyone loves this pattern. It is fabulous. But what I don't like is color changing. And if you know anything about Mirabilias, there's lots of color changes. To get the full coverage and to get the color shading and everything, there's lots of color changes, and I don't like that. That's why I like Prairie Schooler, because there's minimal colors and minimal color changes. So whatever, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's me. So this morning during church, I got 216 stitches out of the 806 that I need. I figure I have about 3.5 hours left of work on this. I'm totally going to get 3.5 hours. It's Sunday. I'm going to get 3.5 hours. So hopefully I can finish this today. My working copies, again, I take pictures with my phone and put them on my iPad. My working copies this time were cut off right on the right-hand side, so I had to take a new picture. And I'm hoping that the picture that I took will give me more blocks of stitching and less color changes than working on the flag. And hopefully one of these coming months, maybe we'll get Lansing, Michigan, which for me is only like 53 miles and 61 miles, something like that. And so I can stitch on Lady of the Flag for a couple of, an hour or two and exceed my goal for the month, and maybe work on that flag a little bit more, because then I won't have to switch colors as much. When you're doing 800 stitches but have to switch your color every 6 stitches, it drives me crazy, people. Okay, so anyway, this is my progress. This month I decided to work on this side because it's more solid stitching than anything. So like what I mean over here is, yes, I have a big block of white, but then the next color up is going to be the shading of it's the shadow. And there's like 3 colors in the shadow, and there's not very many stitches on each color. So I decided to come over to the right-hand side and stitch where there's a big block. So I started this on January 9th of 2022. I did not stitch on it at all in June, but every other month I've stitched on this year. And I do believe that I could possibly get her done by the end of this year, if not in January. It just depends on how much I push myself and how much time everything takes, because she definitely is a lot bigger than what you would think just by looking at the picture. Like, she's big, but she's bigger than what you think. So I'm stitching my version of Lady of the Flag on 30 count We the People linen by the Primitive Hare. You can order directly from the Primitive Hare's Etsy shop, but I will tell you that she's in a different country. She's in Italy, and she goes on vacations a lot. Her Etsy shop is on vacation mode a lot, which is fine. You can, though, order her items through your local needle workshop if they order from her. My local needle workshop does, and the last time I checked, which was about 3 weeks ago, she had another cut of this. So this is 30 count linen. It is not even weave. Someone did say, I think it was Cassie from Cassie Joe Stitches, said that there's another company that carries a similar fabric in even weave. So if I did this for my husband, I would have to go with even weave. I can't do this linen. It's too airy for me, and I really have to go slow and check my tension. And that's another thing that drives me nuts about it. It's not the project, it's me and how I stitch. I can stitch a lot faster on even weave than I can on this particular linen. The linen that I'm stitching Liberty Eagle on is a little bit different, and I can stitch faster and not have to worry about my tension. So there's a couple of things that are slowing me down and causing me to just not want to stitch on this project. I do have a feeling that if I chose an even weave for my husband's version of this, then it wouldn't drive me as crazy. But that's just me. So that's all that I stitched. I have absolutely no purchases. I'm saving up for the yarn crawl. If you haven't heard about it and you are a knitter or crocheter, Mid-Michigan, there's 11 shops in the Mid-Michigan area that are participating in a yarn crawl. I discovered it off of the Little Yarn Shops website. She is located at the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw. But there's 10 other shops participating. You purchase a passport and you go to as many shops as you can throughout the yarn crawl time frame, and there's prizes at the end. I believe it starts July 29th and it goes through August 6th, but I can't be absolutely sure. I will try to remember to post the information or the link to her website below, so that way you can go and check out the information. They also have a commemorative tote bag, which I think I'm going to pass on because I used to be a 31 consultant, and that means I have lots and lots of totes. So even though I would love to have the tote, I'm going to save my dollars and use it for yarn. So I'm trying to save up my spending money. I didn't learn about it fast enough, so I don't have a lot, but my birthday is also coming up and my family's going to just give me cash instead of purchasing something for me so I can go and buy yarn. I know that I really don't need any more yarn, but I also like to support local, and I like to participate in events when I can. And also there's prizes at the end, so if I can win a prize, I would love to win a prize. Who doesn't like to win prizes? So I'm going to, starting tomorrow, I am stitching on Memorial Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think I am back to Stars and Stripes, Seasons and Chalk Stars and Stripes. I think. I have 5 projects all together, and I have 4 of them sitting here. So I think that's what I'm, Memorial Day and Stars and Stripes. And then I will just keep cycling through. So next time when you see me, I will hopefully be done with my January or July challenge for the Michigan Cross Stitch group. I'm hosting a challenge in there all year long called Traveling the USA. If you want more information about anything that I've talked about, definitely email me. Hopefully I'll be done with my challenge stitches. I will put 3 days into Memorial Day and 3 days into Seasons and Chalk Stars and Stripes. So until then, I hope that you found some inspiration to pick up a whip, whether it's crochet, knit, cross stitch, or anything else, or to maybe try something new. And until then, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.